I usually don't record replays from War Thunder because its replay system tends to be pretty problematic. In fact, it's terrible, quite honestly. But I decided I'd record this one because I ended up having a really good match, actually. Started out in the MiG-15, and sort of the key to playing the MiG-15, no matter what game type you're playing, is getting altitude early on, and then using that for the rest of the game. So my first order of business was to gain as much altitude as I could, as quickly as I could. Now, unfortunately, because of how chunky the War Thunder replay system is, it doesn't really have any useful indicators or markers on the screen, even with markers turned on. But at this stage I was basically higher than pretty much everything, except I think 1 or 2 enemy fighters who were co-out with me, and who were already being engaged by my team. Here I'm just checking behind me. I thought that guy was trying to turn up and engage me, but he was too low, didn't have the energy for it. And that's why you want to stay high in the MiG-15. You outclimb basically everything. And as you can see there, he was so fixated on me, he got picked off by friendly F-86. That's how you roll in this thing. The other way you roll is dive on people. Now this guy, another MiG-15, is trying to go head-on with me. Unfortunately for him, I'm pretty good at head-ons. The secret to it is basically to open fire from about the distance I just did there and to aim slightly above them, because typically pubbies will be pulling up, and as well as accounting for the ballistic drop, that also means they're going to fly straight into your rounds. If you aim at them, you're going to miss low, and obviously if you aim below them, you're going to miss very low. So aim slightly above, just above their tail, and I'd say probably from about 300 or 400 meters out, open fire, fire a quick burst, and pull out, because typically that means they won't even get a chance to fire before you're out of their sights and your bullets are hitting them. Sorry about the jumpiness of the replay. Again, War Thunder's replay system is absolutely awful. That guy down, I'm looking for a new target. I'm staying high. There's no reason to go low down yet. I spot this guy down here and decide to make a dive on him. He appears to be alone, but I just want to make extra sure nobody's actually chasing me or ready to dive on me. And here I decide to break off my attack because that guy was in a perfect position to dive on me if he so wanted to. At the moment he's ignoring me, but I can't afford to ignore him. I've also got a couple of people behind and below me. So keeping an eye on that guy as I've gained some more altitude. Sure enough, he's diving down on me. Now at this stage I wasn't sure what he was flying. I was hoping it wasn't a Sabre, and apparently not. It's another MiG-15 from the sounds of that gun. So in diving early, before he'd even definitely turned onto me, I was able to evade all that fire. And he breaks off his attack. Clearly he doesn't want to be baited down low when there's a nice juicy bomber over there. That bomber is actually player controlled, not AI, so I go over to help him out. And also maybe get a little revenge on this guy for trying to kill me earlier. Makes a pass on the bomber, appears to be a DO-17, or 217, misses. The bomber dives away and I go for this guy. Looks like he's trying to make another pass on the bomber when he sees me and breaks off. I stay on him, firing kind of far out, but I'm just seeing if I can land at least one hit on him, or just chase him away. That guy tries to make a head on, but overshoots. My quarry crashes in his desperation to get away from me, so I just break off my attack and regain my altitude. Sorry about steam beeping in the background. I go looking for a new target up here. And this is the point where I realise the actual closest target to me at the moment is the pair of AI bombers headed for our base. They're easy targets. They can cause a decent amount of damage if I let them through. And as they are the closest thing, there's no reason to let them go past. So I dive on the nearest one. Now, you can't see it because the little mini radar thing isn't showing in the replay, but there was nobody actually on my tail at this point, so it's quite safe to just dive on him. I was a bit off with my aim there, but I did do some damage. So I go for the lead. Put a couple of hits in him, not as many as I was hoping. It is quite hard to figure out if I'm hitting or not, because War Thunder's hit reg is kind of questionable with higher pings. I was getting a couple hits, but I think it was only with the 23s, which won't do much to adore me. That guy loses his tail, so he's going to go down pretty much no matter what. And as I double back to finish off this guy, I notice one of my teammates is on him, trying to approach the kill. Thankfully, he doesn't manage to. Sets him on fire, but I managed to land a coup de grace with the 37mm. Couple fighters down here, and go after this guy. He's making himself an easy target. Unfortunately, someone else gets him. Put in just a quick burst for good measure. I think I hit him with a 23 shell there. And I spot this guy. Come up underneath him. I think he's flying a MiG-9, it looks like. So I can catch up to him, but it's going to take me a while to do it, since I bled off all my speed in that climb. Just quickly check my tail, I'm clear. And then he makes a mistake, he tries to dive. Now I'm a lot faster than he is, so he really should have just kept going straight and level. It would have taken me a lot longer to catch him. We do overshoot slightly, but I'm able to pull back around behind him. Fortunately, my aim's a little off. The only real problem with the MiG-15's guns, other than not carrying much ammo, is the really slow muzzle velocity. It makes it hard to hit a quick, fast-moving fighter, or anything that's trying to dodge you, really. MiG-15 was designed as an interceptor. It was actually intended to take down B-29s, that's why it has such powerful weapons and such a high flight ceiling. That time, though, I was able to get my lead perfect. Blew the back end of that guy right off. Historically, another problem with the MiG-15's armament was the two sets of weapons. The pair of NS-23s and the N-37 have such wildly different ballistics. It's difficult to actually aim them at longer distances. So there I was bounced by somebody else, or I was tunnel visioned on that guy. MiG-9 managed to get me, blew my wing off. I jump back into the fight in my MiG-9, the late model, and immediately head for this group in the middle. There's one friendly there and 3 enemies on him, so I want to try and bail that guy out if I can. One of the enemies splits off and separates himself, so I decide rather than risk diving into a hornet's nest, I'll go after him first. But he gets cleaned up. Just got a bunch of friendlies on him, so I go after this guy, who's a much closer target. Also flying MiG-9. Unfortunately, I'm not very good at flying with a keyboard and mouse. If I was using my joystick, I would have had this guy quite easily. Instead, I nearly hit a teammate because I'm having trouble flying and shooting at the same time. I do manage to land some hits there, take some myself as well, as those two MiG-9s crash into each other. At this stage I've got a Comet on my tail. The Comet is hideously overpowered. There's not much you can do about it once it gets behind you. It's one of the fastest planes in the game, if not the fastest. It has absolutely phenomenal climb rate, so even the MiG-15 can't get away from it. And, I mean, its only disadvantages really are it explodes if you hit it, which is not really a problem since it's impossible to hit, and also it only has 6 minutes of fuel, which doesn't really matter because in that 6 minutes it can basically wipe out half a team. Its disadvantages are so significantly overshadowed by its advantages that they may as well not exist, basically. The only time I've ever actually managed to shoot down a Comet has been sheer luck, when it literally flew in front of my guns while I was attacking somebody else. In this case though, our own Comet manages to take him down while he was tunnel visioned on me. But no sooner have I decided I'll try and get back to base than somebody else is all over me, and I lose my tail control. So that's the last of my jets. It was actually that same guy, I think, respawned. Yeah, it was the same guy respawned in... No, never mind, I'm misreading it. He actually got credit for that in his Comet, even though he'd respawned already in his 410. So I come back in the Yak-9P, one of my favourite planes in the game. Quite handily takes down jets as long as I catch them in a turn or in a climb. And so I head back to the middle and pick out this guy, who seems to be all by his lonesome. It takes me a while to figure out what he is, but around here I realise he's in a Yak-15. I can still turn inside of him because I'm fully upgraded, but obviously he's going to be able to get away from me slightly faster. Make a couple of turns just to try and get inside of him before he becomes distracted by somebody else, and that's my chance. I managed to hit him. Now, if you want to stay high in the MiG-15, in the Yak-9, you're actually better off staying low. Often I'll go high early on in the match to get just a quick drop on somebody, or to try and intercept any incoming bombers, but late match when there's no bombers around and when everyone's kind of on their last couple of planes, it's better to stay low and just mix it up with people, because there is not much in this game that will turn inside a Yak-9. He's going for a guy there, but it looks like he'd already been shot down by somebody else and was just going in as I locked onto him. So I decide to turn and head back towards the enemy airbase where there's still a bunch of guys hanging around. Now I'm trying to avoid getting ganged up on here, so I noticed it wasn't just that guy, he's got a couple of friends there as well who can't really see very easily. So I gave them a moment to get distracted by my teammate who's busy charging in there alone, and I start trying to pick out a target. I decide on this guy, since he's the nearest to me, and he's also distracted by a friendly. He makes a head-on, I'm off at first, and I kick my nose up, and that's all I need. You can see how when I was aiming below him I missed, when I was aiming at him I missed, but as soon as that aim went over the top of him, that was all it took. And for my trouble I only took, I think, 1 or 2 machine gun hits or something. In fact, I don't even think... Yeah, he was a Yak-17, so he doesn't even have machine guns. Maybe a glancing hit from a 23 or something. Because I heard a hit sound, but nothing got damaged. Picked up a little altitude in that attack, so I dive back in on this guy. Looks like he's tied down by a couple of friendlies there, and then this guy joins the fray as well. So there's a bit of a furball evolving over on this side of the map. Decide to involve myself in it. This guy's making himself an easy target, so I wait for him to present a nice full plan form shot. Instead, this guy cuts in front. He's much closer. That burst misses quite badly, as does that one, and that one. I'm trying to walk my fire onto him, but between my high ping and just my ineptitude with the mouse, it's quite difficult. I think I did land a hit there, but I didn't get the kill. War Thunder replays actually show where the server thinks you're aiming, not where your client thinks you're aiming, so what appears to be a really terribly aimed shot in a replay may have looked dead on client side. That's how most of my shots are in this, I've noticed. Dive on these two. Get a couple of glancing hits there, I think. I double back around since they're so preoccupied chasing this one guy. Aiming a little high there, missing over this guy's wing, but then he levels out. Managed to damage the Yak-15's engine, and then walk my fire onto his tail. I roll out over the top, pick up a little altitude, and try and get out of the BF-109's sight while I reload. Obviously this is arcade, so you have unlimited ammo, you just need to reload it. And then by the time I'm reloaded, I'm basically on his tail. Unfortunately, the match was already over. So, pretty cruisy match actually. Probably one of my better ones. I usually don't get more than about 4 or 5 kills a match, and usually end up dying a lot. But I think that match I managed to actually make good life decisions and pick my targets pretty well. So overall that went pretty well. We got 7 aircraft destroyed, 4 in the MiG-15, 3 in the Yak-9P. No ground units obviously, wasn't attacking them. We got an assist in the Yak-9, 6 crits, a bunch of hits on people, and some pretty nice rewards out of that. Picked up 2 bomber rescuers, 4 ground force, fighter hunter, win streak, final blow, Punisher, Terror of the Sky again, and came out with pretty good score. And we had, let's see, 7 kills, so we were actually pretty high up as far as kills go. Next highest was 6 and 2 5s. So that went pretty well, I'd say.